who are acting under instructions. Of course, you need to do that. But do you go beyond that and deal with and act on their commanders who have given the instructions? Two, and this is more specific, and I want to focus now on the recent demonstrations and attendant deaths and injuries from police actions. From your records, say since the beginning of this year up now, how many Kenyans have lost their lives from police bullets and or truncheons? And I want to tell you, very honest with you, at the last count, we had 73 lost lives. And now speaking as Emil, you can dispute or confirm. But from your end, because you are financed by taxpayers to do exactly that, how many lives of Kenyans were lost from police brutality during the demonstrations? And how many cases have we documented of those who had injuries? Many of them are still in hospital as we speak. And if you really care, I could share with you privately outside this forum the details. It's a serious matter, I'm sure you know. Yes. I'm happy my friend Osan Omari is in agreement with that, with me on that here. Now, you have said that you are handicapped. You know, at one point I felt very sorry for you people. When the IG of police referred to you as busybodies. You see? The current one referred to you people as busybodies. Of course, you responded meekly. No. As people who have got no teeth. But even as you lament lack of prosecutorial powers, have you cared to understand that you can institute private prosecution? And you have got lawyers here in your midst. I can see veteran lawyer, this. Yes. Yeah, all lawyers, very eminent lawyers. And eminent thinkers like my friend Dr. Ogon. Okay? Why haven't you taken steps? Because desperate times call for desperate measures. Extraordinary times require that you adopt extraordinary measures. Because if you did that, and eventually the prosecution is stopped, which obviously would happen sometimes, then the public would have taken note. Yeah, how the kind of resolve you have. So I'm just trying to plead with you that even as you seek to be entrenched, to be empowered, to be strengthened, can you do what you need to do with the current power that you have? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Co-Chairs. I think just picking up from where Honorable Ndai left, it came from you that indeed some of the officers have been partisan, particularly during elections. But even in the recent demonstrations, Maandamano, it was very, very clear that some of the officers are partisan. You could see officers saying, we have allowed these demonstrations to go on, we have banned those demonstrations, we will not allow those demonstrations. And Article 37 of our Constitution is very clear. That right, the freedom to demonstrate, the freedom to protest, to picket, is guaranteed by our Constitution. It does not depend on the generosity of Bungei in Nairobi or IG Kome. But you could see these officers actually purporting to allow or disallow. And some demonstrations were very violently handled. Some of us in this dialogue committee were victims. Some of us lost very close friends. Some of us lost our bodyguards. who are actually not just brutalized, injured, but some were shot and killed by police officers. And you could tell that that partisanship was very evident. They couldn't allow demonstrations here in Nairobi, but when we have issues of some money being stolen for students going to Finland, demonstrations were allowed in Eldoret. When there would be tea machines in Kericho being brought and the citizens came out to demonstrate, demonstrations were allowed. But in Kisumu, in certain parts of Western, in Nairobi, the violence, the brutality of the police was shocking. Now that you yourselves admit this partisanship, we want to hear from you. What have you done to address this issue? Because it's a growing menace to enjoyment of fundamental rights and freedoms in our Constitution, particularly Article 37. And it also goes against what you have yourselves told us in Article 244 that requires the highest standards of professionalism and discipline in our officers. Partisanship shows lack of professionalism. It also shows probably the lack of proper training, because you have said one of the issues there you look at is the training of our officers under Article 244D to the highest, in fact not high standards, the highest standards of competence, integrity, respect for human rights, and fundamental freedoms and dignity. So these are issues we would like you to address us on. But having witnessed firsthand the brutality and abuse of human rights by our police officers, I want to ask you if you are aware that we have about 1,000 police officers from Kenya who will be dispatched to Haiti, and there's an uproar internationally because of the recent abuse of human rights by our police.